All right, I'd like to call this meeting of the Board of Sewer Commissioners to order, August 12th at 6:30. And could I have a roll call?
Sandy Slavin.
Malcolm White.
Peter Dunlop.
And Jim Gibberti. Okay. We have minutes for approval.
Now, we really have a formal document to indicate that a meeting was not held because of lack of a quorum. I'm just going to, unless someone objects to it, just sign those. We're not going to vote on them. So I will be signing May 27th, no quorum. July 8th, no quorum.
July 22nd.
And July 22nd, no quorum. I will be signing those on our behalf, just so they're formal for the record. I have reviewed the minutes of June 10th, 2021, and make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 500.
I review the minutes for June 24th, 2021. Malcolm was missing, everybody else was here, and I make a motion we accept the minutes of June 24th, 2021 as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 401.
401.
Right. Okay, I don't need those, I don't need that. I've taken care of those. Now we can hop into, we have a proposal from J.C. Engineering regarding the survey and plan for the Swiss Beach area. This is an amount of $48,500. And you, to do the surveying, delineate what we need. Guy, you want to add to that at all?
Excuse me, no, Mr. Chairman, you've done well. One, Kinko has completely failed, and we have to do something. We estimate to be $2.2 million to replace it, and about 1.5, 1.4 million to do grinder pumps. Gives us two, as I see, advantages. One is that eliminates sump pumps, and B, because it's all solid pipe, there'll be no infiltration and also no inflow. So we're moving forward on surveying it. JC is going to survey to get the edge of the roads, utilities, et cetera, so we can decide where to put the grinder pumps. And so the funds are coming out of the town meeting article that we have there for roughly $330,000.
It comes what?
Out of an article, town meeting article. We have $330,000 in that town meeting article for Swiss Beach Engineering. And so that the funds would come out of that.
Wait a minute, so we already have an approval for that capital?
We have a town meeting approval for engineering costs in Swiss Beach.
How much do we have?
Jimmy, do you remember a capital plan for that?
No,
How much do you mean?
I have a
330,000.
copy of all our articles that were passed, and I don't remember seeing an article for that.
We
It
haven't
is,
got
it's
any
a
of
town meeting article, it's engineering, Swiss Beach.
I think so.
How long ago?
Oh, God, we did that many years ago. I think Patrick Chopiano, selectman, we talked about doing the entire Swiss Beach. It was $10 million to do, $20 million to do all of Swiss Beach. We entertained it, we put in money for engineering, and that happened quite a while ago.
When you say all of Swift's Beach, where do you talk?
So at one point, we were going to sewer all of Swiss Beach, probably from the housing all the way down through Swiss Beach into Hamilton Beach and everything.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. So in
Yes.
other words, everything in off Swift Beach Road.
We were, yes, at one time we had plans to low pressure everything because we know that the pipes there all failed. They're all asbestos, they're all in water, and we know that we're getting tons of I&I, and we know that they're not structurally safe. So that was the plans. And there was some pushback from other communities within the town that said, you know, that's kind of not fair. So we decided to go throughout the town. We did an evaluation. We spent $300,000 or $400,000 to do an evaluation, and now we're working to do the entire town. Some in Swiss Beach, some in Onset, et cetera, et cetera. So that's how this whole plan developed.
Okay. Do I have a motion on this?
I'm still looking for where 300,000 was approved for the Swiss Beach survey.
Actually, it was more than that. We've been spending the money for the past 7 years, I believe, so,
Oh, so if I only go back to 2016, I don't have it.
okay, yeah, because we approved that quite a while ago, and we've been spending it
And
right
how
along.
much money do we have left out of that grant?
$330,000 we have left.
We have sorry.
That's our
I'm-
balance.
Wait a
I
minute,
don't
I
know how
can't
much
hear
he's
more
doing.
than one
That's how
conversation.
much he's doing,
That's
right?
kind of what I was
Mac,
asking.
get it, hold a sec. Go ahead.
So you're saying that with that town-approved surveying, how much money do we have left of that approved?
Engineering funds, $330,000
We have a
remaining.
330 left,
Yes, ma'am.
not used.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're asking to use of that 48.5 in this particular,
Yes.
from that warrant.
Yes. And you'll see later on, we're going to look for 63,000 more to do a design.
Okay,
But
I'll make
that's coming
I'll
up.
make a motion that we accept the J.C. Engineering contract for 48.5 for survey and plan in Swiss Beach area.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 500.
I did want to say, I couldn't find the Exhibit A anyplace. It's referenced on the cover sheet, but I couldn't find Exhibit A anyplace.
Geez, I think, let me look in the old, do you think it may have been in, I mean, probably not.
Okay.
Okay, now we have GAF Engineering on Popeyes, Cranberry Highway, Lot 2, next to the gas station. It's in there, across from Walmart. They're looking for 880 gallons a day. 44-seat restaurant. Are we able to do that one, Guy?
We decided to do this in phases. We approved the first phase, we said we'd look at and approve the second phase. We have the gallons for this project. I recommend we move forward with the 880 gallons for Popeye's Restaurant.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the Popeyes request for sewer hookup.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. 500. And we have okay, that's the wrong spot. We have a letter that was put together sent to the Buzzards Bay Coalition. In support of going to the canal with outflow.
Did we miss something, the Kendrick gravity sewer evaluation? Did you want to take that next?
Took it out already.
Okay, we'll do that. I'm sorry, I skipped over it unintentionally.
Don't confuse me.
Yeah, there we go. The evaluation, we're looking at gravity sewer evaluation for GHD for a flat fee of $21,596.
What's the funding source?
We have an article, actually it's not an article, it's a gift from Walmart for engineering for that
Okay,
area.
how much is left from the Walmart fund?
About $60,000, I believe it is.
And this is the 21 will come out of the balance?
That is correct.
So what's this going to do for us?
So this is going to eliminate Kendrick Pump Station. What we're planning on doing is in front of Kendrick Pump Station, there's an 8-inch sewer main. We're going to make them 15 inches. And we'll probably do that for quite a bit, maybe a few hundred feet, and create a, if you will, a collection system underground. And then it'll gravity to Thatcher. So it'll be able to take all the gravity flow for the future of the trailer park and any expansion that anybody else has been doing and continues to do on Kendrick. And so it'll eliminate the Kendrick pump station, which is overwhelmed. It just simply has
Okay.
problems. So the goal is to eliminate that pump station.
This will not eliminate the pump
No,
station.
this
This is an
evaluation.
evaluation proposal.
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to make clear that this is just informational, then it will tell us how much it will cost us to.
We have, yes, we'll talk about that later, but we've already been out there with surveys and done a lot of work. We wouldn't bring this forward if we didn't think it was doable, and then we did that, we did some homework. But
Okay.
we'll bring that at a later date.
I make a motion, we approve the, yeah, I know, but what's the company? GHD Kendrick Gravity Sewer Evaluation Proposal for $21,596.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 500.
Okay, so that's this one. Okay. Now's your letter.
Now we're back to the letter, okay. We have a letter, well, looked at, regarding discharge and working together with Mass Maritime to be able to affect that. Guy, do you have any comments on it? You put this together? Somebody did.
No, it's pretty straightforward. Mass Maritime is really interested in moving forward, and I think the town of Wareham is also. So this letter is in support of that move. Mass Maritime wants to connect to us. They want to give us their outfall. They want to connect to the outfall. They're committed, and they're asking us in this letter to commit also and move forward to see what we can and cannot do.
Wait a minute. This letter's from Mark Rasmussen? No, this is from the sewer commissioners to Mark Rasmussen.
Correct.
Yes,
Did we write this letter?
we did at our plant.
Oh, you wrote, okay. Are you asking us to sign off on it?
I am.
Or
I'm
has it already
asking-
been submitted?
No, it hasn't been submitted. I told them I wouldn't submit it until I get approval from the sewer commissioners. I met with Mr. Rasmussen, with Chairman, and we talked about this. The proposal, this letter is the results of that meeting.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the submission of this letter to Mark Rasmussen regarding the outfall.
Do I have a second? That's good. That's all.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thought it was a pretty good letter, Guy.
Yes, it was. I think it was.
Now we have the first half of fiscal year 2020, of 22, sewer usage commitment in the amount of $3,079,431.02. I get a motion on that?
I make a motion, we sign the letter to Mr. Foster regarding the first half commitment for the FY '22 sewer users fee in the amount of $3,079,431.02.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
500. That's in the blue folder for us afterwards. Okay, next we have wastewater treatment system weekend operation maintenance. This is a proposal from Knowles Enterprises to provide operational people for the plant for is this weekends only?
Weekends only, Mr. Chairman. We have no
Okay, this is
operators
right.
at the plant.
I know, this is,
We're done. We have no operators, which is crazy. So the union has allowed us to enter into this agreement. It's in front of Mr. Bowen, so there's some things there that I'm not happy with that will change.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
I'm looking for approval of the board, conditional upon approval from Mr. Bowen.
Are the costs per hour sufficient?
$105,
No,
yes,
it's reasonable?
yes. Very reasonable.
Guy, there was one thing in here, maybe you caught it or saw it.
Caught a lot of things in here.
The one I had the question on was the annual fee. What,
24,000?
yeah, what's
That's
that?
incorrect. That was, they want an upfront fee of 24,000, which they're not gonna get. So the annual fee, if you added the 105,000, 8 hours plus 8 hours times 52 weeks, it comes out to $78,000, $87,000 a year is what the annual cost of this contract is going to be, if we utilize it for the entire year. So it's a year contract. What the town is about to do, and I don't want to speak out of turn, I met yesterday with Human Resources and Mr. Garino, and they met with Mr. Sullivan, and we're looking to increase pay for the operators to be competitive in the market. I think once that's done, then we'll start attracting some operators, and then this contract would become moot. But right today, this very day, we have no operators at the plant. I have myself, who's a grade 7, my assistants, who's a grade 7, and my lab tech, who's a grade 5, and that's it. So we have no working staff that are operators, which puts us in a precarious position. So after pleading, and I mean that in the way it sounds, pleading with the town, yesterday they agreed to go to the highest step so we can be competitive in the market. The average salary in the private world is $30 an hour. The average salary in the municipal world is $26 an hour. We've been 20 and 21. So we're going to come up to 25, I believe, or maybe a little bit more, and I think they're finalizing those numbers, and I'll let them do that. But we've been in contact with the union, and I think they've done a great job of presenting this and getting it done. So I'm looking forward to hiring operators because we will be competitive, this contract will become moot. My goal is this contract will become moot down the road, but I have to have it in place for today so I can have operators. This will take us a while to get this done, but I want the DEP to know that the town has not neglected their responsibilities. It's tough times, but we're doing everything possible to bring in operators.
So this is for base $105 an hour for how many people?
2, one for Saturday, one for Sunday.
And they work 24/7?
No, 8 hours, that's it.
So you only have coverage 8 hours on Saturday and 8 hours on Sunday?
We work 8 hours a day every day, so
That's,
yes.
so what happens when they're not working? Who's on call? You?
Brian, myself, and Sean, yeah, we're on call.
That's it, so that if something happens after the 8-hour shift,
We have a couple laborers that are on call, and then one of us will have to go with the laborer to make sure the operations are satisfied, whether it's putting pumps on,
Okay.
off, or whatever the case
and how
may be.
long is this agreement for?
It's a one-year agreement.
So right now, it's a 1 year, so when we get staff, we're committed to this 1 year.
We are, but there are also, if you read the contract, there's conditions, or there's the ability for either party with 60 days' notice to
Okay,
to
so
get
to-
out. So
okay.
we could exercise that if we choose.
Yeah, there's a
signing-
severance clause in it. I
Yes.
saw that.
So we're signing for 1 year
Only.
with the option to back away.
Yes, if we staff, then this would become not needed for us. And there's some things in there that we are going to scratch out. I mean, it's the first pass, but I want to get it on the board. Mr. Bowman will rip it
I
apart.
was gonna say, basically, what we're looking for is an approval for this contract to go forward, subject to legal's approval.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And it's definitely for 105, even though it says weekends it's 130?
Well, what they say, if we choose to bring them in beyond emergency, so let's say that I have a problem at 2 o'clock in the at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and I want to bring them in, then it's a different rate. But we already have a contract with Weston & Sampson that'll cover after hours, so we wouldn't be utilizing them after hours. We presently have a contract with Weston & Sampson that gets staff to do our pump stations, 2 individuals every single day.
All
So
right. It says the weekend rates are 130.
I believe above it says, if needed, that's a clause, these are conditions, it says extra services. I'm not using the extra services, but they put them in the contract in the event if I choose to use an extra service. So it
Okay,
says,
so they're gonna put it in the contract, it's 105.
yes, base fee is 105, it's above it. This is
I see that, but
extra services. And those are the extra services, and that's what they cost if we choose to use them.
All right.
Do I have a motion on this?
I make a motion, we approve the contract for wastewater treatment system weekend operation maintenance from Knowles Enterprise, subject to final review by legal.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 500. Okay, bingo. And now we've got the Beta
This is-
regarding the installation of the low-pressure sewer system project on Winkinko.
Yes, the design of that, the design of all, just to
Right.
design it, yes.
Okay, this will follow after JC?
Yes. Once they survey it and tell us where everything's laid out, then we'll come in with the assistance of E1 and then lay the system out. And, you know, the edge, we
That's-
plan to put them on the edge.
That's
yes.
what Beta will do?
Yes. Yes.
And what do we have? I forget what that number was with them.
$63,556.
$56, gotcha.
63, in the very last page.
Right, I got it, I forgot to write it down.
And how are we funding this?
Same thing. I'm sorry, the Swiss Beach account, which we have 330, so deduct the 50, the 48, and
So
deduct
this
this.
is also from that surveying,
Yes,
Okay.
engineering funds.
Okay, do I have a motion on this?
they're telling us that they're willing to do this even before they see the survey?
No, this is going to follow the survey.
Right, but
Yes.
they've already decided that this is what it's gonna cost, and they haven't seen the survey?
Well, what they're going to take the survey and take it to the next level, so they're going to actually design the system in the road.
Yeah,
So this-
I understand what they're going to do,
So that's what, and they,
but they haven't seen the survey, and they know this is what it's gonna cost?
that's correct.
Wow.
so here's the roads, Walkinko to Murphy, Murphy to from Dead End to Wareham River, Columbia Street from Pleasant Street to Barnes. So these locations are what that's going to be done. Did the survey have the same street
They
addresses
do,
on
actually,
it?
they added a couple more.
was gonna say,
And
I
we
don't
refined it. They actually had some more that we're not going to do. So they're going to cut that out, and they're going to take, yes, so.
Who's going to cut what out?
JC Engineering, in their contract, they put 2 more streets we don't need.
Okay, so these are the streets that we do need.
Yes, so they took the linear feet, and there's a fee, yes, these streets right here are the streets we will do with low-pressure systems, and they take linear feet, and then all the tasks, they put a task time to it, and they give you a price.
So with the low-pressure system, the pipe basically goes in at the same elevation relative to finished grade.
4 feet, yeah, so the main will be 4 feet,
Out of the-
everything
yeah.
else will be shallow.
So that's how they can,
They know what they're,
they know what it's gonna, because it's pressurized, Peter.
But they're not-
They're
they're
not
not-
dealing with inverts. Everybody's gotta meet our pipe,
the same thing, bang, it's, and plus you have.
you know what I mean? It'll all go in at
Yeah,
a constant elevation, consistent.
but they're not doing the same area.
What do you mean?
Well, they don't list Hamilton Beach here.
No, this is just Wankinko area we're speaking of, because Wankinko has failed. It's failed, the lining blew up, we can't get sewer through it, it's backing up, we're pumping it on every other day, we're backing up homes, it's failed, so that's why we're doing it. The Wankinko is in
Well,
failure.
you were headed that way with that.
Well,
that-
if that's the case, then why do we have to survey it?
To know where everything is. to know where utilities are, and we have to survey the edge of the road. Some of that in Swiss Beach, generally speaking, some are private, some are public, there's all kinds of things. So they got to sit down with the, I think it's the clerk, vet all this, so somebody has to do all that work, and that's what the survey is going to do.
Yeah.
So I
very
have a tough time matching the survey with this low-pressure sewer system locations.
Well, let me
As long as we're comfortable that the survey is going to include the 4,395 linear feet and the 114 sewer users who will
Yes.
now have to have a grinder pump.
Yes.
And when do we tell the sewer users they need a grinder pump?
We're going to tell them when we start the survey, so they know exactly.
So
when
when,
We'll do doors with the little slips, then we'll have a public meeting. We have 2 public meetings scheduled, and we'll tell them, explain to them why. Because it's the best option because of the failure.
so someone needs to reach out to the Swiss
The engineers will do that.
Swiss Beach Improvement Association so that we are on the agenda for some of their meetings to let them know, hey, folks, no more sump pumps, they're all going to grinders. So the sump pumps have to be capped off or redirected to the yard.
The engineers will do that.
That's the engineers, they'll take
That's the
care of all that.
engineers.
I'd rather, I mean, they,
I wonder if anybody from Swiss Beach is listening to this.
well, I got to tell you what I do know, is that every time we pump and we block the road, they're out there and they have a problem with it. That I can tell you. And it's driving them nuts. So I have to shut down Kinko, and I have to put pumps and hoses, and I move the water. So they're all aware, and we told them what we're planning on doing. So maybe not every individual,
Grinder pump?
and I'm sure not every individual, but the general knowledge is out there. We're not,
what they cover here.
we've been very vocal the last year with these folks, what we're planning on doing. So we'll crystallize it. The engineer will crystallize it with hard numbers, hard facts, and we'll go from there.
Okay. I make a motion, we approve the contract for Beta for $63,556 for the 2021 installation of a low-pressure sewer system. Sorry.
That don't happen.
Well,
There's some people that have no lot whatsoever,
there's no what?
no lot whatsoever.
But that's gonna be outside of their land. It's not gonna be on their property.
I was in the middle of a motion.
I'm sorry, we're trying to get, he was trying to get understanding of what
All right,
the
then I
survey was
withdraw my motion until you're comfortable with the,
We're just trying to get, he was just trying to understand why the survey and the grinder pump situation. That was all.
shall I do it again?
Yes, please.
I make a motion that we sign the contract for Beta for the $63,556 for the 2021 installation of a low-pressure sewer system project in the Wankinko area, Wankinko Avenue area. That's the motion.
On a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No.
Okay. 410. Guy, you're on deck.
I really don't have a whole lot. We're meeting with the DOT in regards to the drilling underneath the tracks. They're pulling their folks together. They reviewed our application and our proposal and our design. They accept it. They have other people, and as soon as we get, there's one gentleman, I forget what his role is in the railroad, but once he's on board, they get a date. They'll give us a date, and we'll meet and solidify going under the railroad. Last year in revenues for grease and septic, we did 1.1 million,
Hey, is Godzilla working?
yes. So, is a profitable year. This year, we're on pace to do equal to that or more. The project has started at the treatment plant. We're digging the hole. The sign should go up tomorrow that tells about the project and the funding from the EPA and DEP. The first basin, or the covered basin, we begun that. So, sorry, I gotta put this off, it's time for prayer. So I would advise you come down and look at it. There's really a lot of good things going on there. And I mentioned the fact that without operators, we're struggling. We've got some odor complaints, and we know that, but we can't wash the basin. I just cannot wash. I don't have the staff to do that. I don't have the staff to do the maintenance and the routine things we need to do. So odor, it's just not on our list. I hate to say that, and I know that neighbors have been very patient and tolerant, and we do empty the basin every day. We just can't wash it down.
Well, it might rain enough.
I'm hoping I'd like it to pour every day. It'd be nice if it could pour every day. It'd be nice, but it isn't. So I'm hoping the project is a one-year project, and we'll address, because now we'll have a covered basin for it to go into. And so, we're pretty confident that that will address the issue. And I thank all the residents that have been tolerant and patient, and they have been. And so I thank them, and we'll continue to work towards putting the basin in and whatever we can do to be good neighbors. We have that lot behind the pump station on Linwood Ave. I think we discussed it before. There's a lot that the residents are using for dumping grounds, and so we're going to do something with it. And some of the neighbors don't want me to fence it, but I have no other way to stop them from dumping. I think what they're telling me is they want to continue to dump. They want to continue to use it as a dumping ground, and we can't have it. So I'm going to fence it. I'm going to, where Linwood Pump Station is, we're going to cut some trees, open it so we can turn around there and give us better access. I have to open up the middle so I can get in there with DPW to start removing all the junk and brush, debris, and I think they tell me there's a pile about 5 feet of leaves. Under that, there's some appliances, and we'll chase those things out, so we'll try to get it all cleaned up. It's quite a mess, and so we're working on that. So I'll keep you informed as we go along. I've had it surveyed. Turns out that we have no frontage on Linwood. When they turned the curve, they took away our frontage. So the frontage is owned by the neighbor looking at it to the right. She owns all the frontage. So I'll put the fence on the back side of her frontage. There's some issues. The neighbor to the right, I think I explained that her fence is on our property, and we won't move it. We'll just ask her to sign a document saying that she recognizes that she's on our property. And the front part of the neighbor on the other side's fence is on our property, so we'll do the same thing as we move forward with this project. It's all been staked out and lined, and everybody's aware, so I think it's just crystallizing it and moving forward.
So if we go down Linwood, we can see it?
Oh yeah, Bowen Linwood, you can see the stakes.
No,
and
if I could see where you were planning to do this.
You can see, because we have it all staked out, and you'll see absolutely. Go down there and check it out.
No, what are you going to do with all the material you're going to be pulling out of there?
Well, I'm going to try to pawn it off to Dave. I'm not asking him, but I'm going to try to get DPW.
Dave, which,
Back to the neighbors?
We should. We should dump a little pile in everybody's yard, but, they would all complain if we give them back their debris, because as an entitlement country we're in, they're entitled to dump it on our property, so we'll take care of it.
now, you're saying underneath the leaves you expect some hard,
Appliances, oh yeah, some hot stuff. Appliances.
and what happens to them?
There must be a recycling. I'll talk to Dave. He's got to be aware of
You
it.
pay to get rid of them?
I don't know. So that's going to be on, Dave's going to help me, the DPW, because and we'll do what we have to do. It's not, what can we do? There's nothing we can do. Right? We have it's a beautiful country. Just dump your stuff where you want to and move forward.
That's about it.
That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much. Some pumps, we're addressing them at least on Wakinko Avenue area, through the things. We've still got any additional homes that notified us on connecting to sewer?
I'm not sure, but we are connecting routinely, so I'll have to evaluate the list to see which ones were on the list that are connecting, but we're still
Yeah,
connecting.
you were going to get us an updated list.
I know, I see it.
Mine is dated September 2018, so I know it's
That's
going to
pretty
be more.
current.
That's
Pretty
current.
current. Pretty current,
Yeah, look,
I will make a note.
it's in this
Actually, let me do it.
decade.
I'm sorry, yes, it's current. Let me do that right now. I'll text Christiana. I'll email her. Okay, So I'll get that, as soon as she completes it, I'll make sure you get it.
Okay, we have a recommendation for a route policy, which, from the looks of it, it seems like it's something that we should consider.
Well, yeah, I guess, I would like to put it into place. I'll be frank, that's what I'm requiring now. I'm having a lot of problems. I went down to Admiral's Way. It used to be the old motel right on Admiral's Way on the water. If somebody remembers, I think it was back in the 50s, 60s, maybe even the 70s. There was a motel there. The town knocked it down. They built a home, there's double lots. And there's a big wall, and his lateral is under that wall in the corner. And they're down for the summer, they're from Chicago, and they have a major backup throughout the house. It's a mess. Roto-Rooter comes in, they fix some pipe, and they say, no, it's in the street. It's a town issue. And everybody says it's a town issue because we have more money than they do. So I go down there and I tell the gentleman, listen, I'll dig it up, that's no problem, but if I find it at the connection, you're paying everything I do. That's just the way it is. Because we don't have trees in streets. We just don't do that. Trees have become a problem of the neighbors. Now, if your neighbor's trees, roots gets to your property, I can't speak for that, but the town does not own any trees, and we should not be responsible for roots. It's pretty straightforward. So anyways, we tried to dig it up, and we couldn't get to it because the wall would collapse. Very dangerous. Well, he happened to own 2 lots, and the second lot they put a lateral on, so he connected to that lateral, and it's all his cost, nothing to do with us. But the problem lies is that I tell them what we're going to do, and they're not happy with it. They feel that the town should pay for it, irregardless of the source of the roots. It's a town problem. And so I said if it was plugged on the town side, then I would probably agree, even though I would be unhappy because, again, we don't generate roots. But because it's at the connection, and the reason why it's at the connection is because when they connect, there's a gasket that rolls. That's the weakest point of all of them. Or it would be something beyond that it rolls. And back in the day, these are clay, asbestos, and we're having a lot in onset, and they're mostly clay and asbestos. They didn't make a great connection. And so roots just penetrate, and they just build, and they get bigger, and they get bigger, and they just take out the flow. And I believe it's the responsibility of the homeowner. It's not, I did one in your neighborhood, I think it was Mr. Knight.
Right next door to me.
And same thing. It was horrendous, and
$7,000.
from Ready Rooter.
I'm sorry, it cost them $7,000.
So again, the question was, is the town going to pay for it?
Oh, good, thank you, Bob.
And it's at the connection. We're not paying for it. So I think a policy would back all this up because it's common. You go to Onset and parts of Wareham, there's trees lining the streets. They're older, and I get it, and these are older pipes, clay and whatever, but I don't believe we should be responsible for roots in connections of sewer. I don't believe we should be responsible. So that's why I'm asking the board to consider a policy.
Well, how about the poor guy that can't afford to pay for that and has to, I mean, what do we do? What do we do?
Don't you have some root kill available?
And people are getting it, and the ones that get it, but most people don't, and I don't know what to tell them.
But it's available if they just come to the plant.
For free. I spent $12,000 on root kill, free. And we've told them, and so, you know, now I'm going to be frank, if the root is the size of my knuckle and bigger in your 8-inch pipe and it's plugged, there's not much that'll kill it. It's established. Root kill is designed to stop the growth, proliferation. It isn't designed to go after that knuckle, because over the years, that root gets so big, I mean, it's huge. It takes up the whole pipe, and these are 6-inch pipes.
So how often should root kill be applied?
I tell people annually.
Annually?
And we'll give it to them. Will you come and get it? I'll
Okay.
continue to buy it because it benefits us too, because the root kill, because it foams everything, and it comes to our lines also. So we're all benefiting, and that's why we're paying for it, and we're giving it away.
So I make a motion, we adopt policy number,
Are we saying that if the roots get into our pipes, it's the homeowner's responsibility?
What I'm saying is if the roots are at the connection, it's their responsibility. If it gets into my pipes, I will clean it, even though it's their roots. I will clean it if it gets into my
Okay, so
pipe.
you're not saying the homeowner's responsible for the root in our pipe?
No, I'm saying sewer connections. That's, I was very, yeah,
So-
sewer connections.
For their lateral, they're responsible. That's all you're stating here.
Yes, from the connection to their property, it's theirs. We did one in Wareham, Ave, and it left their property, came into ours, went down our main, our 8-inch main, and got into our manhole. It cost me a ton of money to clean it out, but it's ours, so I did.
Okay, thank you. All right, Sandy.
Have a second?
I make a motion that we adopt policy number 30, route policy. All routes that entered the sewer system through lateral connections and other sewer connections are the homeowner's responsibility, and it's not the responsibility of the Wareham Water Pollution Control Facility. I just wanted that read into the record.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
500.
So, Mr. Chairman, this is a staffing policy taken right out of the laws, 314 CMR 1204. I got to say that this has been around for 3 years, and I just thought I'd bring it up again. Staffing a facility is not an arbitrary thing. It's very specific. We have specific responsibilities because of the grade of our plant. We have a high treatment plant. We have a biological nutrient removal plant, which requires a considerable amount of maintenance. We have 45 pump stations, 45 pump stations, 90 miles of pipe, and it takes a bunch of people to do this. Right now, I'm staffed at 4 to 6, and it's impossible. We were staffed at 18.5, and we were keeping up, but we should have had 4 or 5 more staff. So all I'm saying is that our policy states simply that we go by the rules and regulations of staffing, whatever they may be. There's a formula put out by the state, and you take every piece of equipment in your plant, and they grade it, and they say what it's worth. The only dilemma that most people don't like, and especially the administration, is they require 1.5 per hour, because they're saying that with so much vacation, time off, how do you account for that? So they say 1.5, and I've always put it back down to 1, because it's more palatable to administration than 1.5. But it does say 1.5. So staffing is an issue, and all I'm saying is we should have a policy that says here's what we'll staff. Now, whether we get to these numbers, I can't say, because staffing's an issue everywhere, and it's not just here. I'm having a procedure done on my heart, and they couldn't do it until they had staff. They were short staff. And there's a specific doctor that's not going to be available until September. I've been waiting for 2 weeks, and I have to wait for him, September 1st. So staffing affects everything. And when it affects your health, you realize that there's a major problem in this country. But nonetheless, this is just to say, all we're saying is that there's a staffing, there's a number, let's just staff to the number if possible. That's all I'm saying in the policy. So I'm bringing it forward again. This is the 3rd time it's been brought forward, and we'll see what happens with it.
Well, I guess my question is, why does it need to be brought forward? It's already in place. And we just need to follow what's already there.
It's there by state.
And why do we need to put a policy in to
say that we're going to
do
follow
this?
this.
I mean,
We want a policy that
it's
states we're
already
going to, it's really good. It's there that we can't do sump pumps either, but we have a policy. It's there that you should staff, but we have no policy. So the bottom line is all these things that are written into law and regulations, if there's no policy that enforce that, they don't get done. I mean, there's no other way. So we talk about a policy for sump pumps. Why? It's illegally federally, state, and local. Why do we need a policy? It's already there. Please follow the rules. Doesn't happen. So we make policies to make sure that rules are followed. That's all I'm saying.
What's going to change if we make it a policy?
Nothing. Other than the fact that if this board ever had the authority to enforce a policy, then we'd be able to. Because technically, this board cannot enforce personnel policies. Can't.
So what's the point,
Well,
of even dealing
it's a
with it?
document.
You know, it's serves no purpose to me. Why do I want to spin my wheels on something I have nothing to say about anyway? Right?
It's a tool in my pocket, not yours, that's all.
What?
It's a tool in my pocket, not yours. It just adds to my fight.
Oh,
It adds to my fight, that's
Oh,
all.
okay.
It's not gonna benefit you, it's just fight.
fucking wants a tool in his pocket, I
That's
don't,
all it is.
another piece of paper.
So, I mean, it's no more than that.
I'm fine. Well,
I don't see any point.
I will try for a motion that we accept policy number 31, water pollution control facility staffing.
Can I have a second?
It's a real bad time to do it, but real bad time.
Do I have a second to the motion?
Okay,
I guess that falls.
so it fails.
It's the fourth time. I'm not surprised and not upset. It's just the way it is.
Okay, Old Onset Road. Now, what exactly is that, guy?
That's off of Hannah's Lane, behind Onset Avenue. So if you go on Onset Avenue past the VFW, take a left on Hannah's Lane, and take a right into Old Onset Road. It runs parallel to Onset Avenue.
Okay.
There's a lot of new houses back there. And this is a vacant lot, and the gentleman's building a house.
Is this for one house or two?
One house.
I wasn't quite sure.
One
One
house.
house, okay.
Single-family home.
If it helps, Conservation's approved it.
It's his retirement home. So he'd rather tie the sewers 300 feet down. He's paying for everything. So, and the cost is $52,000 to tie the sewer. So I said to him, I'd bring it to the board. I see no reason to deny it.
I was gonna say, do we have any issue with it? I don't see any.
No issue with it whatsoever.
Have a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the sewer hookup for a property at Old Onset Road. I'm looking for a street address.
I'm looking for one too, because it should have been there on the chart. Yeah, there's Antonopolis Way, Antonolius Way is where the property
Way.
is.
Excuse me?
No, I'm sorry, it's on Antonellis Way.
Antonellis Way, because that's where his property is. And then you can see where the dwelling's going to be, so that way is what's the road.
He's
to
putting a
access.
sewer, I withdraw my motion, never mind. No, I don't. My motion stands, but I want for discussion.
Sure.
Discussion, go.
If he's putting in, 300 feet of sewer line?
Yes.
A connection?
Yes.
Will we be asking the houses that are also on Old Onset Road to connect?
I'm not, but I'm asking him to put laterals or caps in the event of that they have failed system, they need to connect.
So he will be installing the 300 feet plus laterals for each one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 properties?
That is correct. He'll put wires at the 8-inch main that'll give them the ability to connect to the sewer in the event they have failed systems, but I'm not asking anyone to connect to sewer.
Okay.
So he would be the only one connected to sewer
That
on that
line.
whole street?
No, at Bertino, from Bertino on, if you look at the plans, just beyond Bertino, there's a house there that has a sewer. There's a manhole there. That's where he's connecting. So all Onset Ave has sewer, but when they did the sewer back in the 70s, that property, this side of Old Onset, is all vacant. So folks have been building there over the years. So this gentleman wants to tie the sewer, so yeah, just go down. If you're willing to pay for it, you can go to sewer. So he's willing to do that. The others, I'm not addressing or doing anything with. If they have a failed system, then they'll tie to sewer. But right now, I'm not gonna do anything with them.
Now, if he's putting the line in and they tie his sewer in later, is there
I'm at legal now. Technically,
is that
it's
a
not
charge?
ours,
Is
it's
that
not our
something that
betterment.
he collects on it, he doesn't, whatever.
And I don't think he can, because once he puts it in the street, we own it. Once he puts it there, we own it, even though we didn't pay for it. So I'm still at legal, because there's a question of, can I better somebody or get a sewer development fee if someone ties in 3 years down the road? And right now, we're saying no, but Mr. Bowen's doing some more vetting on that. I asked the question immediately. I did, because I thought he might be able to recoup his money.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
But he
get
can't,
his
because
money
once he
back.
puts it in the road, it's ours.
Well, these other houses aren't connected?
No,
to the sewer system?
no, they're all septic systems. Because when they put the sewer in, they were vacant lots. It's one big vacant lot, and I think Mr. Montero originally went in there and he subdivided, started building, and the whole area built up. But when sewer went in, stopped at Burkino because that's where the houses were. The rest was vacant lots.
Well, they all got water down there, right?
Yes. Yes,
Now, he's gonna dig up the street to do this?
he is.
What's it gonna cost him, guys?
$52,000.
52?
Yes, $52,000 is cost.
Jesus,
1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4, 5, 6,
it's only
7.
money.
Well, if we did it, we could charge a betterment.
Good.
And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 betterment charges. At what rate is that?
624, I think, 626 an hour. Betterment would be, so that's the question. He paid for it, so how can I better them? That's the
Well,
question.
But that's why I'm saying, would we be better off if we put it in so that we could then charge betterment?
So we could take the 52 divided by the number of houses? Yes, we could. I suppose we could. We had the same issue in Preservation Lane, and we ended up, the gentleman bill on our back. We could have moved it out, we let him do it, and we just didn't want to expend the funds, but yeah, we can, absolutely can do anything.
But the betterment charge now is, the sewer connection fee is what?
$18,000.
So,
So you'd get that from him, right off the bat.
so you.
Yes, but
you-
because he's paying for everything,
1, 2, 3,
I'd like to
4,
waive the
5,
18
6,
because he's
7,
spending
8.
52.
So
It's
we'd
all his
get,
money.
You get $140,000.
so we'd get that 8 times.
Well, what if we pay for the pipe and charge him the betterment, and it takes that legal off the table for the other houses? How do you resolve that? I mean, the pipe is there, you're putting laterals in. They can tie in without a betterment?
Well, we can't do it unless it's our pipe.
That's right. That's the legal, and Mr. Bowen is looking up some more law, because I asked the very question, he's looking it up. So I don't know where he's gonna go with it, and what the final resolution's going to be. I know I have a gentleman that wants to tie into sewer.
But right now, they're not tied
Is
in.
that in a coastal zone, guy, or?
One of the reasons, yes, there's a lot of wetland,
There's wetland behind the house.
and he would have, and septic system would take up his yard, so he feels he's better off doing this.
I'm just thinking, it's a D-night system or
That's what he
something
put-
similar required in that area? For a private-
Everything coming in town is a denitrogen. Everything Title V denitrogen for all septic systems coming in, regardless of location.
Say that again?
Somebody's putting in a septic Title V, it has to be a nitrogen reducing.
Yeah, anything new.
Yes,
Okay, but if we put that pipe in, all of those homes would have to connect within 5 years.
Yes, so to do that project, it has to go to town meeting, because you're doing betterments. Betterments has to be approved by town meeting. So we'd have to have an engineer write it up, design it, the whole 9 yards, present it to town meeting, get approval, then move the project forward. Yes, you could do it. But you couldn't do it without
and that
town
would be
meeting.
very expensive for those homes, plus if they do tie in, it's another 18,000.
But it has to be done at town meeting. At town meeting, the betterment would be, the rate would be set. It may not be $18,000 because there's less money involved.
I was gonna say, excuse me, we're missing something here, and if we put it in, first of all, it's not gonna cost us 52,000, it's gonna probably cost us twice that.
Probably. Because we do prevailing wages, everything else, and I want to get into that stuff.
It's gonna cost us a hell of a lot more than the number we're talking about right now. So, just because the betterment is 18,000 on existing, doesn't mean that's what the betterment is going to be for them. Betterment may be higher,
Maybe higher, maybe lower.
yeah,
Whatever the cost is of,
crapshoot,
whatever the cost is of us putting it in,
exactly.
divided by the houses.
You know, and now you're picking up 8 more, houses
Users.
onto the system. Which at this particular point in time, as long as we can avoid that, I'd prefer to avoid it, because until we get our capacity situation straightened out, I don't see the benefit of going out there and beating the drum to drag more on board. If he wants to put in the line for himself, he's gonna spend the money to do it. I think then it's up to legal to determine, you know, how additional people can hook on, what the process is, what the cost factors are going to be, because it looks like we got a whole new can of worms here rather than the normal.
Well, wouldn't they be entitled to, wouldn't the fellow that's putting all this work in, wouldn't he be entitled to a betterment if they want to hook up? I mean, he should,
I would say,
I thought that same thing very simply, but because once it goes in the middle of the road, he no longer owns it, according to Mr. Bowman. So once that pipe goes in the road, it's the town's now.
in other words, what's gonna happen is,
Complicated.
whether he wants to or not, he's effectively gifting that
Giving
pipe
it
to
to
the
us.
town,
That's what he's doing.
you know?
I gotcha.
Does he get any, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if the people hook up, he should get something back for it to help defray the cost of that, because we would be getting something back for it had we put it in.
If it was a private road, I believe there'd be a different ballgame. It's a public road, so it
Is it?
changes it. I believe it's public. I gotta get town permission to cut into it. So they must own it, or they we wouldn't have to get permission.
If it's a private road, why would it become our pipe?
It wouldn't, it'd be owned by the homeowner. He'd have to maintain it, et cetera, et cetera. If you had a private development, it's all on you.
Now, you mentioned that you asked him to leave laterals for these people to connect.
Yes.
Should one of them connect, would there be a connection fee?
There'd be our standard fees, but a betterment, I'm not sure.
That again?
We have standard fees, they would pay standard fees.
The
That's-
connection fee,
Yes, they would have to.
which would be equivalent to whatever the betterment was.
No, that's a sewer development fee.
That's different.
It's a whole different thing. They would pay connection fees. Sewer development fees is still illegal.
So what's the connection fee? What's that based on?
Trench permit.
$350, something like, it's cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap. It's
Yeah.
like less than $1,000, but around $800, something like that.
So at this point, we'll only collect one connection fee
Yes,
if we allowed him to do this.
that's right. And his,
But we don't have any
Annual
expense
fee.
involved with it.
Well, I don't know why you feel it'll cost us twice as much to do it as it costs him.
because we do prevailing wages.
Has to-
We're,
Me?
prevailing wages, we're government. We're government. We have
government,
prevailing
yeah.
wages, there's things that we have to follow, procedures. If you work for, yeah, there's nothing I can do about them. Price goes up automatically. You could hire somebody to do a piece of work in your road for whatever, you negotiate. I have to pay prevailing wages. Everything I do, I hire somebody, I have to pay prevailing wages, whatever they are.
Now, if we allow him to do that, do you get to inspect it?
Absolutely, because it's in the road, so it has to meet our standards has to be followed. Has to be an 8-inch pipe, has to have the slope, has to be connected properly, fitted joints, yes.
Why not do the grinder pump?
We don't have a groundwater problem at that particular, that's a high point of Old Onset, there's no groundwater issue.
I was gonna say, you're down almost 16 feet.
There's no groundwater issue, so why would I,
Yeah.
because we're looking for, when there's groundwater, sump pumps, it becomes critical. When it's dry, there's nothing to worry about. There's no sump pump because it's dry basements, and there's no infiltration because there's nothing in the road. Where Swiss Beach is on water. I mean, I think the water table there averages 6 feet. So Swiss Beach is, everything should be grounded there because that's a water hazard.
The motion's on the table.
Yeah, I know, I was just gonna say.
Did he
anybody-
allow?
You withdrew it.
No, I didn't. I put it back,
All right, I second it.
because I wanted for discussion.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
500. Okay, this on Sandwich Road,
It has already been approved.
yes? Which one?
Back in 2017, it's the assisted living on Sandwich Road.
I'm trying to place where it was, and I've forgotten.
You know where the burnt-out building is? That
Next to
has
Upper Cape
all the
Realty.
black
Oh, yeah.
Sandwich
light score
Road?
in the windows, just at the intersection?
Or right by the Elks, that area?
No,
No,
just down the street from the sewer plant.
oh,
Right across from Campina Way, the church, right there. It's that, I mean,
It was the
you look and say, wow, but
the
they're
the yellow building with the black windows.
windows. Yeah, it's been
Right.
there forever. So we've approved it in 2017, it was approved. So what I'm looking to do is, I had a discussion with him, I'm asking very specific things.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
So what do you want from,
I want I want to crystallize our last conversation. So I want the board to approve the already approved connection with these conditions.
he was to pay, he was to put he was supposed, oh, never mind.
So I'm crystallizing it.
Okay.
It's, the force main. The other thing is, when he puts that force main, he has to put ability for everybody that wants to connect, that can connect. All right, so that's what I'm asking for, just because he's there.
This is coming from this building down Route 6 to connect to the force main going to the plant?
Yeah, no, it's going to connect to the manhole on Linwood Ave. It's going to dump into Linwood Pump Station and then come to the
I'm going
plant.
all the way down that way? So Route 6 is going to be dug up? And he's paying for all of that?
Paying for every bit of it.
What about all the homes that are along Route 6?
He's paying for the holes. He's going to leave connections on a force main.
It will be the same type of thing of old Onset Ave?
Yes, absolutely. Anytime someone puts a pipe in the road, I make them leave something in the event of down the road. We don't know if it'll be used, but down the road. I think of the child care center.
Is this any different than what we just approved for Old Onset Ave, other than it's
Other
a...
than the fact that there's an impact, he has to do the impact. He has to make sure if there's an impact to our pump station, he fixes the pump station. If there's an impact to the manhole, he fixes the manhole, so that's an added feature.
Because of the volume?
Yes,
Basically, the difference in this is you added conditions.
Correct.
That you want met,
correct,
that aren't.
And it's already been
We'll go for the other
approved?
yes,
one. The gallonage has been approved.
yes. But now we're trying to
This is-
finalize.
This is conditions to that.
I thought we already approved the conditions.
Well, it was basic, we just said generally speaking.
Okay,
This is
so
very
this is
specific.
specific.
We're trying to nail it down. I have one more meeting, and as we move forward and they do the testing, we may even make it more stringent, depending what the testing shows. And I want to keep doing this as we go along, so they know what we're looking for, we know what's been said to them, and there's no, I'm guessing, I thought, I just want it crystallized. And I got to tell you, work with Mr. Mannix, he's very easy and great to work with. His engineers, they're very accommodating and they understand.
Motion,
A motion to approve the hookup with the 6 conditions as presented in the August 4th, 2021 letter.
Question. Is your motion to hook up or to be entered into the list?
it's already passed.
It's already been approved, we've been approved.
So it's on the queue?
No, there's no queue on this.
It was approved a while ago.
But
We're
it's in
just
the
approving the conditions.
It's in the original calc.
gallons.
In the cap, okay.
The gallons
All
are
right, all right.
accounted for, yeah.
The last one, is that in the cap?
Which last one?
Hold on, sir.
No,
No,
it's a
that's the new one.
single-family home. So
But it still falls under the moratorium.
we have no moratorium.
Gone.
It's gone.
Okay, I have the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 5-0-0.
So it's the hookup with the existing 6
Moratorium's over?
conditions.
Yeah, wait
Yes.
a second here.
Okay.
Okay,
16 Swifts Beach Road.
so I want this, I put it on the meeting for discussion. He's looking at a piece of property, he wants to build it, doesn't know what he wants to build. I said, well, you gotta come forward with something, well, I want permission before I buy it. I said, I'll bring it to the board, but we don't know what you're gonna do there. So it's off of Swiss Beach Road, a piece of land, and he said, well, maybe a 5-family home, maybe a 6, maybe. So I'm not content with what he's presenting. Mr. Sui's a nice guy, and I know he has the best intentions in the world. I told him I'd bring it to the board for discussion, but he doesn't want to do anything until he has some assurance he can tie in.
It says possible 15 bedrooms?
Absolutely, he's gonna put, it's
Yeah.
How big is this
multi-families.
land?
It's a good-sized piece of land, it's just right, I want to think, let me see, it turns in and goes out back.
Is that by Brown's? Is that the,
Yes,
the
it's in that
ones that go
area.
by Cranberry Cottage? You mean that, down that way?
No, I think it's just, I think it's, I think it's just before the housing development, you take a left, a dirt road that goes all the way out back and it opens up.
Yeah.
I believe that's where this is.
That's not Littleton Drive.
No, no,
That's the
no, no,
other side of
absolutely
the
not.
street.
It's on the other side of the street, it's a dirt road.
Where is the guy?
So as soon as you enter Swiss Beach Road,
Excuse me?
as soon as you enter Swiss Beach Road, you pass the trailer park,
Yeah.
start looking on the left, you'll see a dirt road that goes out back into the wooded area.
That's wetlands back there too, isn't it?
I'm sure. And that's probably what's going to restrict him from building or his limitations.
On the left-hand side, just past the trailer park,
Yes.
where Danny's property was. Big yellow house.
Yeah, if you look just beyond that, you'll see a dirt road. Goes out back.
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't
that
know.
high, but
I don't know. But he wants permission before he does anything, and I said, it doesn't work that way. I said, you've got to kind of design it. Well, I don't want to spend any money until I know that I can do it. And I don't know, I'm not, I can't help you there.
Well, basically, it would seem to me the answer is, yeah, he's gonna be able to hook in, but we don't know how much he'll be able to hook in.
Correct. Correct.
You know, you may be able to hook in one, and we don't know.
We don't know.
So,
But he's said he'd like to do multifamilies, up to 15 bedrooms. He'd like to,
but that doesn't mean.
but he's going to.
Zoning is
So
gonna allow
would he
it.
come back out to Swift's Beach, or would he go out back by the trailer park and tie in?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I have nothing. This is just a proposal,
well,
and I have nothing.
We need something.
I would suggest. But he just didn't want to spend money until if we said yes, then he'd spend money. If we said no, he wouldn't spend the money. And that's where he's coming
But
from.
he's got so many other permitting organizations to approve it. It isn't just us, it's
But he wanted to sell it.
conservation, it's planning, it's zoning.
I sent him an email saying I need more, and he says, well, I just kind of wanting permission before I spend any more money. I said, well, I get it, but,
So he's tire kicking.
yeah, if we say, yeah, because if we say yes, then maybe he'll do an investment.
He's not gonna do anything.
Nah,
I don't think so. I just, I told him I
If we
wait,
say yes, it could be up to 15 bedrooms? No, we can't do that.
I told him I'd bring it forth, and I did. I asked for more, I'm gonna tell him that the board said more information before they even consider it.
I have one more contract policy here for Buzzards Bay Coalition Outfall. And I can't find any contract.
That's probably the letter. Did she put contract? It should be
Yeah.
letter.
You want us to approve you want,
Yeah, because you just sign it, I guess.
Buzzards
just-
Bay Coalition letter.
Yes, I think just to solidify it, to make sure, I think what Mass Maritime is trying to accomplish, they bring in some investors and some other people to look at it, and they just want to know that they have a partner.
Okay, Donna,
That
you can
if
add
they
this to
move
the-
forward, that we will move forward with them. I think that's all they want, and that's what the letter's saying, and I think it's a good move.
And who is Sweeney?
She used to be on the board. She's
She was
not
on the board.
anymore.
She was, is a name on there?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm wondering
Oh,
if she's
take it out, Christiana. Yes, sweet, she was,
I knew,
She was one of the first.
I was just,
hey, I've got a video that she did, y'all should look at. She did bacteria. She was a science teacher.
Yeah.
She won a bacteria that was on TV, WTV. It was excellent. She got good, people really
smart girl.
enjoyed it. I'm
Okay,
sorry?
guys, let's hold this for a second here. Okay, do we have any other sewer business besides that conversation?
I'm sorry.
Okay, our next meeting is gonna be the 26th at 6:30. Hopefully, everybody can make it.
Okay.
And Donna,
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
aye.
I-
Yeah.